So due to this video being on Gemini, I'm wondering if I should just start it out talking really, really fast. Geminis are definitely known for their talking abilities. But as I've said before, these videos are not to just talk about Gemini suns or any sun sign in particular. It's about Gemini energy in general. And Gemini, being ruled by Mercury, um, they are the third sign of the zodiac, and their phrase is, I think. I think. The way that I like to think about Geminis, I like to think, that's kind of funny, is the people who are constantly asking why. Wherever you have Gemini in your birth chart, you will constantly be asking why, and you will constantly be learning. And I mean in a very logical and detached way. Everything will be broken down into a very detached feel. You won't hold a lot of emotion in this area. You're just going to want to know why. Why, why, why? Why? I think why. When I think of Geminis, I think of the song I heard it through the grapevine. Geminis learn by communicating with people. If you see the Gemini sign or symbol, they're the twins. They communicate, they chat, they speak. They're very, very social and bright and optimistic and bouncing all over the place, obtaining different information and learning new things by talking to people and grasping things in a very detached sense. And they say that's one of the karmatic implications of the sign Gemini, is that it's you have to deal with that detachment and kind of learn to um, implement it in a way that it's not so detached, because it is really hard because they are so interested in everything. They want variety in everything. They want to know every single facet of any area. So if you have Gemini, say, in your um, seventh house, you are going to want variety in your partnerships. You're going to want an intellectual partnership, something that allows you to stimulate your mind. Because Gemini, being the communicators, as I like to explain them, I think is their phrase. So they want to be able to think and connect in thinking with somebody. And they get very bored very easily and kind of just bounce all over the place. And you're like, wait, where'd you go, Gemini? So wherever you have Gemini in your birth chart, you will be very, very logical, very interested, intrigued. You're going to use your brain a lot in this area, and you are going to learn the most out of anywhere in your chart. You will learn the most from this area. So as I said before, if you have Gemini in your seventh, your partnerships, your one-to-one partnerships, is going to be where you learn the very most. Um, More so than Virgo, because Virgo is very logical in a systematic kind of way. Um, if you had Virgo is we have systems and regimes to do things the most practically. Gemini doesn't really have that practicality. They're an air sign, so they're all over the place and floating all around and picking up information and being stimulated by everything. They're also a very nervous sign. So whatever area this is in, you could show off this nervous energy as well. But not nervous in the sense oh, you're making me nervous. More so just this nervous excitement where they're just boom, 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 all over the place. Geminis are a lot of fun. They can drive you nuts as well, especially if you have a lot of fixed signs in your birth chart. But for the most part, you'll have a blast with Gemini. Gemini is known for being very childlike in nature because they are so intrigued and interested in learning about so much that they're just really silly. They're super silly and super fun, and the detachment just comes from the fact that they are so interested in everything. When I think of a period of life for Gemini, it would probably be around 6 or 7. It's a 6 or a 7-year-old who's just excited about everything. They're like a kid in a candy shop, and there's candy all around, and they want to see and taste everything and figure it all out and know why that candy over there is red and that one's blue and this one's green and why and what it tastes like, and they're just all over the place. But Geminis are a lot of fun, definitely. Gemini women always seem to retain this youthful appearance almost, but it's more so just the energy they give off because they are so goofy. They Most Geminis that I know have a tendency to laugh at themselves as well because they can see that their behavior is very erratic and they're all over the place and they're ADD as hell basically. So they don't take it seriously, whereas a Virgo would be very critical of themselves. Geminis are just yep, that's how I am. That's how I've always been. So yeah, if you have a Gemini, and you most likely do, most of the signs do end up falling into your birth chart, or at least you'll have a planet in Gemini. It's just going to be the area of life where you think a lot of thinking to the point that you can't sleep at night thinking, and thinking in like a very excited and enthusiastic kind of way, a way that is like bright, and it's like a baby kangaroo, like lifting its head out like from a pouch, like to see the world for the first time. Gemini just wants to explore and know like everything that's going on and understand it and obtain like information and just learn. So yeah, if you are a Gemini, you probably understand this about yourself. You probably are very bouncy on regards to learning, and if whatever area that you have Gemini in your birth chart, you're probably, if you look into it, you'll understand it completely, why it's really hard for you to stick to one thing. And that's something else about Gemini that is very interesting. I've read before that wherever you have Gemini in your chart, you can do one if it's good enough. So if you have Gemini, say, in your like seventh or eighth house, which would be very like relationship focused houses, like if you find somebody that can do that for you, can keep you stimulated and like can give you variety, you'll stick to that one person. But normally that's why Gemini takes such a long time to settle down, because they do crave variety so much, and it's hard for them to find somebody that can give them that variety. So they end up seeking variety outwards. So yeah, that would be Gemini. Well, and if in that sense too, you can also apply that to like your second house, to be finances. You're going to want variety in your finances. You're going to want to like learn different skills and know as much as possible about money and all that stuff. And I'm beginning to sound like a Gemini because I'm talking about a million miles per hour. That's how this works when you're really sensitive to energy. You can pick up the energy very quickly. So I'm going to stop talking now and just leave it at that. But yeah, Geminis, you guys are great. You guys are fun. You're enthusiastic about life. You guys are like the little baby, like kangaroo who's like seeing the world for the first time, and that's so much fun, and that makes you childlike, and don't ever lose that. Don't ever let anybody take that away from you. It'd probably be very hard if you're a Gemini sun. You will never and nobody will ever be able to take that away from you, but you'll definitely live a very interesting life, and you guys deserve to, because you are super interesting people. Thanks, guys.